Now, before I jump into this video, I have two things I want to bring up. The first one being, yes, I am aware. I fucked up the title card last week. I appreciate being informed. I didn't need to be informed by like 10 or so people. Seriously, guys, if you want to correct me on something, check the comment section and see if like 1, if not 2, or 10 people have already told me the exact same thing. If you're going to take like, the minute it takes to write that comment out, you can take the extra 2 seconds to just scan the comment section real quick to see if anyone else has corrected me. I do appreciate it, just I didn't appreciate it from like 10 goddamn people. The second thing I want to bring up is I kept getting corrected last week about Jocko's photo. A lot of people kept telling me, it's not his girlfriend, it's a picture of his dad. No, it's a picture of his girlfriend. I understand the subtitles you saw said his father or his dad or whatever. Those are wrong subtitles. The subtitles I originally saw said it was his memento. I checked the Dragon Team subs, which are the most accurate subs, just to be sure, and that said his cherished memory, and in the manga, it's clearly stated that it's his girlfriend. That's why the whole girlfriend thing came from. It's a picture of his girlfriend. So yeah, if you guys are going to correct me, especially that many people are going to correct me, once again, check the comments section. Secondly, just fact check that stuff before you go and correct me. That's all I really ask for. Now, I can talk about the actual goddamn episode and stop going over all these corrections. The story for this episode is basically Goku and Vegeta finish their training, everyone's ready for the tournament, they arrive at the tournament grounds, they meet the Universe 6 fighters, kinda sorta, they see them at least, and they take the test. Majin Buu doesn't pass the test, so it's now 4 against 5. Oh, they also beat Monaka. The first tournament fight is going to be between Goku and Botama. End of summary. Overall, I really dug this episode. I thought it was really entertaining. It definitely gets the ball moving after the last 2 episodes. Like the episode 30 was a fucking recap episode, almost did jack shit. Episode 31, really just kind of irrelevant overall. Yeah, I mean, like, they get a little bit of relevant information, but as I brought up, it was kind of superfluous. A completely unneeded character added. Like I said, fun episode, just completely unneeded. Here we actually have an episode that is really relevant. It actually, it's propelling the story forward finally. And yeah, it was overall a pretty damn good episode. Really well animated. That's one thing I really want to bring up first is I've heard a couple people be like, apparently people are bitching that the animation doesn't look that good. No, fuck those people. They're dumb. The animation looked really good. I think what people are complaining about is a lot of squash and stretch in the animation. And, that's just really an animation style and not, an issue with the animation itself. It's not like the animation looks bad. The animators are taking liberties with the character designs intentionally to obtain a certain type of fluidity in the movement. A lot of animes do that. Full Metal Alchemist did that a lot, and people think that show is fucking gorgeous because it is. So, yeah, guys, if you're gonna bitch about the animation, bitch about it where it's actually bad. Like, the majority of the Resurrection F arc. No, don't be sitting there picking out in-between frames. Quit being an asshole. Being an asshole is my job, and even I don't think the animation looked bad at all. The second positive I really want to bring up is Goku and Vegeta rocking the beards. I dug it. I love it. It's awesome. Being a very bearded man myself, I like to see a little bit of representation in my Dragon Ball, and I got some representation in my Dragon Ball, and it was just cool. Apparently people are also bitching about this because, I don't know, people seem to think like science can't grow facial hair because of that one fucking line Vegeta said. Facial hair isn't the hair on your head. Notice that their head hair is still the same. Yeah, because that doesn't change. They can grow facial hair. Yeah, it's kind of weird that Vegeta, and Goku have already done the training before, and they came out completely clean-shaven. Maybe that was just, they shaved in the Room of Spirit and Time. I mean, it's not an impossibility. I mean, Gohan got his hair cut. Why can't they shave? I mean, clearly, like, they were rushing last minute. They stayed too long. They even said, like, oh shit, we lost track of time. Sorry, we're late. So, yeah, like, them coming back bearded, not a big deal at all. And I thought it was a really cool look for them, at least in this episode. It's cool to see what, like, a Dragon Ball character looks like with a beard. Like I said, fucking cool regardless. Haters can go eat a dick. Also, finally, we get to meet Monaka in animated form, and Vegeta has this great line of, he doesn't look that strong to me, and Goku just says, and it's like, no, like, that's how it always is, they don't look strong, but they actually really are. And that just seems like this fantastic self-aware line from Goku. It's like, Goku is aware of Toriyama's, writing and bullshit at this point, where, like, his whole tropes of the guy looks like weird and retarded and whatever, but he's totally OP. And, it was just this, like I said, it's a great little self-aware moment, really liked it. Also really love when Goku just goes to, take that cheap shot on Monaka, and Monaka he takes the punch and he just fucks his face up. Because you're expecting that, like the shockwave hits, and Monaka's gonna stand there, like, completely unscathed and go, bitch. But instead, like, his face is all pushed in, it's all red, and his eyes are watering, and Goku's like, oh shit, dude, I'm so sorry. I thought you were gonna, like, block that or something. And Monaka's just like, nah, man, it's okay, shit's cool. Yeah, great scene. Really funny. Like I said, awesome, really self-aware moments between them. Really dug it. Another scene I really liked was Goku and Vegeta meeting Cabba, and Cabba explaining the whole Saiyan lore for Universe 6. How, oh yeah, like, we don't go around destroying planets, the original Saiyan homeworld's still intact. Oh yeah, we don't have tails. It's really nice. It was a really great exchange between them, and Vegeta is just like, what, the Saiyan homeworld is still around? Like, I need to go there, like, can you take me? And, it's like, seeing Vegeta get excited about something is, genuinely excited about something it's a nice, different side of Vegeta's character we don't get to see. And, Cabba being like, yeah, I'll totally take you. And, you guys don't wreck planets anymore, so yeah, come on over to, Planet Salad, or whatever because it's not actually salad, it's like a rearranging of the letters of salad, and I think it's like Sadla was the translation I read, but I'm not sure what the official romanization is going to be on that. But anyhow, yeah, Vegeta Vegeta actually showing excitement about going to the Saiyan homeworld. Really like that. The fact that, like, this is a completely different universe. Clearly, Frost did not go and, like, fuck them up like, Frieza did to them, to Vegeta's people. So yeah, really like that whole exchange with them. Really great, character moments throughout this episode. Now on to some shit I didn't like. First off, the Room of Spirit and Time. I think a lot of people are expecting me to bring this up, Goku and Vegeta, they go in the Room of Spirit and Time, they train for 3 years, and they get out no problem. My issues with this being is, you're only supposed to spend 2 years in there. And a lot of people point to, like, well, Dende fixed the Room of Spirit of Time. Like, well, that doesn't mean that he adjusted it. Because they never said that, like, Dende adjusted the Room of Spirit and Time to where they can spend more time. It's just, he fixed the Room of Spirit and Time because shit got wrecked in the Majin Buu arc. So, that doesn't, correlate to, oh, like, they fixed it and, like, he can stay in there longer. It's never been stated that you can stay in there longer. So, yeah, that kind of really... it's a little irksome. It's not a huge deal to me, because, I mean, there's a lot of ways they could have gotten out of the Room of Spirit and Time. Like, pretty much, these characters can just rip holes in dimensions. Goku and Vegeta could have gotten out. It's just, I really wish that would have been something that they would have addressed. Just any little line of dialogue would have been appreciated. Like I said, not a big deal, just a really minor irksome issue for me. Something that is way more irksome, though, to me is Majin Buu failing the goddamn test. Now, I mean, Majin Buu was going to fail tests. We already knew this. I mean, hell, like, even without the super manga spoiling that in advance, Majin Buu's a fucking retard. He was not going to pass a written test. But here, he doesn't even take the test. He fucking falls asleep. And this is an issue that I kind of have with them falling back on this new character trait of Majin Buu. Like, oh yeah, Majin Buu falls asleep and you can't wake him up. This has never been a trait of Majin Buu's before. It's just a trait that Toriyama's just making up now. And now it's just like this crutch that they're falling over, or that they're leaning on. It's like, why? Why do that? Why not just have the gag of, oh, Majin Buu's retarded, he couldn't pass the test? Like, was that not good enough? Why did they have to have him fall asleep again? Like, it was really obnoxious when they did it in the Resurrection F arc. And my whole issue with this is, like, it feels like they're finding excuses to cut Majin Buu out of the fights. Like, they're finding reasons to cut him out of being part of the team. Which is really shitty because, every other heel-to-face turn in the series, the character becomes now an integral part of the team, at least for some point, like, some point in the series. And here, Majin Buu was just getting sidelined, even though, like, he's supposed to be one of the guys now, but they're not letting him participate in the fights and in the stories and being part of the team. And you can point to Battle of Gods, where he helped fight Beers, but he wasn't acting as part of the team. He had a beef with Beers and picked a fight with him. He wasn't like, like with Frieza, where, he was fighting alongside them as one of them, or like this tournament where he's fighting alongside them, being part of the team. You know, and that's what I really want to see Majin Buu do. I really want to see him be a part of the Dragon Ball team, and not just, you know, oh, like, he's this guy who, like, shows up for fights, you know. Don't treat him like the goddamn Green Ranger, where he just kind of shows up to be in a fight whenever. Like, bring him in as part of the team. Make him one of the guys, make him an actual main character combatant, and quit just shoving him off into the background. Because Majin Buu is an interesting character, and seeing him in that dynamic is something that we never really got to see. Not even GT. GT didn't even get to do that. So, you know, seeing him, like, you know, that aspect of Majin Buu, I think would be really interesting. Especially considering Majin Buu is such a wild card. You know, seeing him try to be part of a team would be really cool. And they just won't fucking do it. And that bugs the shit out of me. Something else that also kind of bugged the shit out of me was Kaioshin is now split. You know, he was Kaibido Shin. Now he's just Kaioshin and Kaibido. Because they use the Namekian Dragon Balls, and they do all this off-screen, and I don't understand why. Like, we're never given a reason, like, why this is done. Clearly, like, I really feel like, you know, the obvious answer is, like, oh, well, they're establishing that the Dragon Balls can undo Potara fusion, so that way we can get Vegito later in this arc. And it really feels like they're heavily lampshading this. Like, oh, well, the Dragon Balls can undo this fusion. Okay, well, like, I mean, can you give us a reason for why Kaibido split? Like, you know, can they give us any kind of reasoning? It's just, oh, well, I used the Namekian Dragon Balls. Like, well, when did he use them? Was this a very recent thing? Was this after they had already used them to wish back Piccolo? Did he do it beforehand? Because, you know, we didn't see him during the Resurrection F arc. I just feel like it just feels really lazy and like some really bad writing. Like, it's kind of bad when the Toyotaro manga set this thing up better when it's super condensed as it is. You know, and it introduced this plot point much earlier. Here, it's just like, because it really feels like, you know, oh, well, this is going to be relevant to this story arc. Let's separate them now. And, yeah, I just don't know why this was done now. And, you know, and if this is something that, like, they could have done, like, if Kaioshin really wanted to be separated, why didn't he separate, I don't know, right after the Majin Buu arc? Why did he wait, what, 6 years to unfuse? So yeah, it's really irksome. It bugs the fuck out of me. I don't mind them defusing Kaioshin. It's just how they're doing it. The fact that it's presented with no reason whatsoever. It's just a thing that fucking happened for plot reasons. It's like the exact same thing as when Whis and Resurrection F shows the temporal do-over, and he goes, oh yeah, like, you know, this is this thing I can do. You know, let's put a pin in that because it's going to be relevant later in this story. And I feel this is the exact same thing where, well, just keep in mind that you can defuse with the Dragon Ball. So, you know, if anyone happens to get Potara fused later on in this story arc, you know, it can be undone. We're just going to point that out. You know, it feels like really, really bad writing on the show's part. There are so many better ways they could have introduced this. They could have had, like, an episode focused around Kaioshin, like, you know, maybe bring it up, like, hey, you know, can I defuse? You know, at some point, like, him show any kind of issue with this in Super to ignite this whole, yeah, I'm going to use the Namekian Dragon Balls to defuse. But he doesn't. Yeah, like I said, it just bugs the flying fuck out of me. And I don't know if other people are bugged about it. I haven't really brought it up with anyone else. You know, let me know in the comment section. Are you guys bothered by this shit that I'm bothered by? Am I alone in the world? If so, it wouldn't be the first time. But whatever. You know, like I said though, honestly, these things bugged me. Overall though, I thought it was a pretty damn good episode. It's the first, I would say, genuinely good episode of this arc so far. That was actually relevant. Because, you know, it's relevant and it was a good episode. The things, you know, it has some weak writing, you know, but those moments are so small. I mean, they're really short moments, but they're really aggravating moments for me. And it shows it's just like the writers are just a little on the incompetence side. Like, you know, they could have done these things better. But yeah, anyhow, you know, that wraps up my opinions on this episode. You know, issues, minor, you know, little issues that really bug the fuck out of me aside, it is a genuinely good episode. And I hope this is the quality of the show going forward, minus some of the sloppy writing elements. Till next week, Zeon, out.